Good afternoon, everyone. It is 5:50 p.m. Today being Tuesday, August 13, 2024, and we call this special meeting to order here at the Eagle Pass ISD. We will go through roll call. We have Ms. Hilda P. Martinez, Vice President, present. Dr. Hector Alvarez, Secretary, present. Ms. Glenna Purcell, Trustee, present. Mr. Christopher Hiller, Trustee, present. Mr. Victor E. Perry, Trustee, present. Mr. Samuel Mijares, Superintendent of Schools, present. Mr. Victor Cerda, our Attorney, present, and myself, Jorge Barrera, present. We will now go to a public hearing to discuss the 2024-2025 official budget and proposed tax rate. And we open this hearing at 5:50. Thank you. And we have no one? Nope. So at this time, it is 5:51, and we close the public hearing. And now we will move to district reports. We will take 1, 2, and 3 together. Mr. Mijares, everything good? Any questions by the board on the district reports? If not, we will move to the second budget workshop. Review 2024-2025 official budget and proposed tax rate. Mr. Mijares?
Good evening. This is the final workshop that we will be having. We will be approving the budget tonight, and we will be approving the tax rate tonight. It's going to be a short presentation because we already went over all this information at the first budget workshop. I'm basically going to be going over the budget balances or the available funds that we have estimated. We're going to go over the proposed budget, and we're going to go over the proposed tax rate for next year. If you look there, those are the balances that we have on all the district funds that we've incorporated as part of the budget. As you know, the available funds that we had when we started this year was $70.4 or $70.5 million. We will have a deficit this year of $20.3 million. That includes all the projects, $14 million of special projects, and that also includes the salary increases for 22-23 that we had. Then the next amount, the $6.6 million, those are the ESSER funds that were available at this year. This will be the last year that we will have ESSER funds. Then we have a balance there at the end of this year that we're looking at having is $56.8 million at the end of this month. That's what we're projecting. 24-25 budget, we have a deficit of 8.9, which is what we went over the last time. That includes both salary increases that we've had, the one that we had for next year too. That will reduce our fund balance to $47.9 million. Then we carry the same deficit of 8.9, and then that reduces our fund balance to $38.9 million. Just so you'll note, number 2 there, M&O other budgetary considerations that you see there. Number 2, where the $8.9 million that we're carrying, that's the salary increase that we gave back in 22-23, $5.6 million. And that's a salary increase that we gave for next year, which is 3.3. That equates to the $8.9 million, which is what we're carrying. We're going to be doing like we do it every year. We're going to be working very closely with our projections, our staffing formulas, saving mode and everything so that we can reduce that deficit by several $1 million so that we'll be in a better situation. The next page. That's the budget. That's in the format that we're required to have it for it to be approved. TA is the one that requires this format that we have here. This is what you're gonna approve on the action item that we're gonna have after this budget workshop. And it includes everything that we had stipulated when we went over the budget during the summer. Next page. That's a tax rate. Values did go up by about close to 14%. That's what the appraisal district gave us during the summer when we calculated the tax rate. The tax rate is going down. It's going down, as you see, the total tax rate, we were at 0.82886. It's gonna go to 0.82602, so it's going down by 0.34%. So that's a tax rate that you will see in the action item after we approve the budget. Are there any questions?
Any questions by the board?
I do. At one point, I mean, do we keep on running on deficit? I mean, what are we gonna do to further keep from not keep on running on deficit budget?
Yeah, the only way you can reduce that deficit is either by increasing revenues or reducing expenditures. And when we did those salary increases, we knew that by doing the salary increases, the budget was gonna go into deficit. We're very transparent with that. So the way you can increase revenues at this point would be looking at ways to increase our average daily attendance. I know already, as Mr. Camarillo knows, our average daily attendance has been very low. We've been losing $4 or $5 million every year because we haven't been able to recuperate on increasing our average daily attendance because the state will fund us based on attendance, not enrollment. We looked at the figures, Mr. Camarillo gave us the figures of the first day, and it looks like we have 200 or 300 more students this year. So that should help us increase the revenue portion of it. The expenditure, this last 3 or 4 years, our fund balance has gone up drastically. We used to have 17 million, now it's been going to 70 million, and it's gradually going down. So what we're gonna be doing we're gonna be running our finances and our expenditures a little bit more. We're gonna be looking at how we spend the money a little bit more closely, because when you do the staffing is about 83% of your budget. So we're gonna try to save several $1 million there with the staffing and run a tight ship as much as possible so that we can also reduce the deficit. So when you look at that, you might be able to reduce that deficit in half. It's not gonna happen by chance. We're gonna have to work really, really closely with everybody in the district, and that's pretty much what that direction that we've given our superintendent when we meet. Everybody knows that we're this budget, which is next year's budget, we're gonna be doing everything we can to hopefully offset that deficit.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? If not, we will move to action items. Number 1, consider and take appropriate action on the request to adopt the official budget for the 2024-2025 school year. Do we have a motion?
So move.
We have a motion by Trustee Hiller. Do we have a second? Second by Trustee Perry. Questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes, unanimous. Number 2, consider and take appropriate action on the request to adopt Resolution 2024-2025-01 to set the 2024 tax rate. Do we have a motion?
I move to adopt the 2024 tax rate of 0.75530 for the Maintenance and Operations Fund and the tax rate of 0.07072 for the Interest and Sinking Fund for a total tax rate of 0.82602.
We have a motion by Trustee Martinez Caballero. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Alvarez. Any questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes, unanimous. At this time, the Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District will convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, to deliberate upon the following matters. Number one, the board will hear the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074, and the board will hear the request to hire a professional employee to serve as instructional officer, subject to the possible future reassignment by the superintendent pursuant to TGC 551.074. Do I have a motion to convene in closed session? A motion by trustee Hiller. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by trustee Martinez. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. The time is 6 o'clock and the date is Tuesday, August 2024. Tuesday, August 13, 2024, and the Board of Trustees is now in closed session and no action will be taken in closed session. Thank you. All right, we're back. The time is 6:12, and the date is Tuesday, August 13, 2024, and the Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District is now in open session, and we will move to item number 8. Number 1, the board will consider and take appropriate action on the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074.
We have a motion by trustee Hiller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Alvarez. Any questions? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Number 2, the board will consider and take appropriate action on the request to hire a professional employee to serve as instructional officer subject to the possible future reassignment by the superintendent pursuant to TGC 551.074.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request to hire Reynald Jimenez as a professional employee to serve as instructional officer, subject to the possible future reassignment by the superintendent pursuant to TGC 551.074.
We have a motion by trustee Martinez. Do we have a second? Second by trustee Perry. Questions? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? A motion by trustee Hiller. Do we have a second? Second by Dr. Alvarez. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. The time is 6:14, Tuesday, August 13, 2024, and this meeting is adjourned.